Hello? Can anyone around here speak basketball?
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.
Hello, bonjour. What's up?
Hello, bonjour.
Welcome to the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.
I'd like to add that bass to you, pal.
Yeah, that was nice.
Anytime I can help.
I am Freddie Rivas, the host of the podcast.
And I'm the producer, Matt Duncan. Hi, everyone.
Matt, if people want to listen to this podcast, support us, help us grow in Toronto and Canada, how might they
do it?
And worldwide.
You know what? You got to find your favorite podcatcher, and you just got to start listening. Get that subscription, and you don't have to search for us. We're just going to pop up as soon as it goes live.
Woo.
Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, Player FM, Overcast, Pocket Casts.
Yeah.
You got it. And let's not forget, we are on YouTube. We got another subscriber. I think we're up to 15 now, Freddie.
Oh, my
15 subscribers. Yes, that's right. We are officially YouTube partners. I think our last episode was a record, too. We had 9 views. So
huge.
Yeah,
huge.
We are rolling.
And we are on Player FM. Did you mention that?
Yeah, I did, of course.
Okay,
yeah. I'm trying to give it a little more respect because I know you're sensitive about
Player
FM.
I'm very sensitive about Player FM. That's how I find a lot of the podcasts I listen to. So I guess watch your back when you criticize that.
Cheers to that.
We got amazing guests, and it's the goddamn finals. I went to game 2. I'm still on a high from that.
Unreal.
He went to game 2 as well. He's wearing the finals Raptors hat, which is pretty damn amazing.
Yeah.
And his shirt's friggin' awesome too. You know him, you love him. I want to say something that I don't know if I can, but Ennis is great. That's all I can say. Give it up for Ennis Esmer.
How could you say that? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Make it hot. What? Okay, too hot.
Bit too hot. Ennis, I wanted to like do some plugging for you, but then I'm like, I don't know what's official and what's not.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
We could talk. Try me. It'd be totally fine.
The blind spot.
Oh, yeah, right. We just had the season finale just aired. We're starting to shoot season 5.
Yay. Okay,
So
great.
It's coming up.
I thought there was a chance.
Yeah.
That,
Oh, you were
I'd
worried
be
that we
the
got
blind
canceled?
spot,
And I was
you'd
like,
be
we're not on
Shut
here.
up.
No, we just got picked up for a 5th and final season, and that's going to be airing sometime in the next couple of years.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
but
it's as vague as I can be.
There's a bunch of wonderful stuff in between, and let's bring on guest number 2. She's amazing. She's hilarious. She has my show Rap Battles a bunch. She writes for a million things, and she's one of the best people I know. Loves Nick Nurse. Give it up for Cathryn Naiker. Honestly, my intros were a bit sloppy, so they were positive though.
The music is saving it, though.
Yeah. Oh my God, Matt just did like when it went ooh.
Catherine's on a lot, so yeah, I really know her theme. I don't even have to look it up. I know.
But your body kind of rose up like you were some like proud alien Daft Punk character.
Yeah, that's a theremin? Was that a theremin?
People don't realize that you're doing this live. All that instrumentation is happening live.
That's true, yeah. I've got several keyboards and...
all like hooked to you in different ways. It's very impressive. If you're
kind of like the Matrix, yeah.
Catherine.
Hello.
Thanks for doing this. How are you?
Good. It's not about the intro. It's about the love.
Wow.
That's right. The song's called What Is Love?
What is love?
Wow. Well, speaking of love, that's my mom calling me.
Oh, Kathy.
Love you, Ma.
I'm not here.
You're not, or me, or me.
Either way.
Anyone. I'm usually there for my mom. I'll say that. She's driving home from school for sure. She wants to talk about the Raptors, but she gets that I do the pod.
Has she been on the show?
She's been on the show.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, she was on the DeMar DeRozan episode.
Oh, right. She called in?
Yeah, she was the reason we started doing the odd call-in episode, because she called me that morning and she said, Freddie, DeRozan's been traded. My stomach hurts. Because she was just so devastated.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, so she didn't really know who Kawhi was that well, but she's a hardcore Raptor fan, so she it was a painful time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But she's having a good time now. Okay, before we get to all the finals glory and discussing the minutia of who should cover who and how great this all is, or how scary it is, depending on what type of fan you are, I've been keeping some stats.
Oh.
Some playoff stats. So, Matt, if you're ready, this is kind of like a Hunger Games portion of the podcast.
I don't know what that could mean.
Oh, it's a pretty convoluted concept.
Is there archery? I only saw the first one.
There's just basically like, when someone dies in the Hunger Games, it's like Cathryn Naiker is dead. Bong.
Wow. Why am I the example?
I was looking right at you. And then if there's two people, it could be like, and also Ennis Esmer. Bong.
Oh, man, I gotta watch some. Oh,
see what I mean?
And that's like what, your eulogy?
Kind of.
Jeez.
Listen.
So this is just the Raptor players like killing each other?
No.
As they pass people on the NBA.
Just check this out, okay? We'll do the first one to see how it works.
So aggressive, Fred.
I know. But it's really...
I thought we were celebrating our history right now. Like, that's what this moment's about?
Again, it's got a positive spin in the end. You know what I mean? Because it's all about Kyle Lowry, this one.
Oh,
so this is about Kyle Lowry's journey through the all-time playoff assists lead or whatever. He's working his way up. So when we started doing this in the playoffs, Kyle had 335 assists, which put him at 110th all time. Now he has 462 playoff assists. Since last pod, Kyle has passed JoJo White.
Okay, I got it.
Wes Unseld. Rick Barry.
Wow.
Freddie Lewis. And Hakeem Olajuwon.
Wow.
Oh.
Kyle now sits at 63rd all-time in playoff assists, and he's coming for James Worthy.
Yeah. See, I thought you were going to
kind of cool. Yeah, Matt, that was a nice one.
I thought you were going to list off all 47 people he's jumped, and we were just going to strap in. And...
I mean, it has been like that a little bit.
Those were highlights. Yeah. I get it. Okay,
listen. We need to start talking raps. Matt, would you give me that Raptors sting?
Can't not play it.
I mean, they're not an up-and-coming team. They're here.
This is pretty appropriate.
I'm a fun guy.
But not in the courtroom.
Oh, wow. Okay. I had a question.
Coming in with some heat.
I had a question, but clearly Matt had a statement. Let's go there. I guess let's go there right away. It came out that Kawhi. Actually, you know what, Ennis? I'm just going to throw to you because I feel like you have a good analogy for this whole situation.
Well, I'm not that... I didn't actually read that much about... I understand that he's trying to get ownership of his logo back, right? That's the whole thing from Nike because his contention is that he designed it and Nike was using it and trying to get him to stop using it.
And a week ago... the Nike was in some type of negotiation battle agreement with the Clippers.
Yeah.
So the Clippers were actually, we're only talking about this because the Clippers tried to buy the logo.
You think they're connected? Do you think that's why Kawhi is doing this now?
I mean,
or was that in
I never heard about the ownership of this logo and it being related to Kawhi's likeness until I read the report that Ballmer and the Clippers are trying to buy this logo.
They're trying to get back Kawhi's rights to it on his behalf.
I guess.
Which is like...
Or they're trying to use it as leverage against him.
Well, what do you think? They're going to hold it and be like, if you don't come to... I mean, either way, it's a sick overplay. My analogy for it was that what the Clippers did in trying to do that is like, if you're in a movie, when like they have like movies where like Lakeview Terrace or something where you have like the psycho new neighbor who's like trying to be affable and then he really oversteps. Like you complain about like the neighborhood dog keeps taking a dump on my lawn, and then the next scene he's like poisoned the dog and killed him, and you're like, what are you doing? He's like, I did this for you.
Very Cable Guy-esque.
Yeah, very Cable Guy-esque. Yeah, the betrayal that happens, or like just like a suitor in a movie that's about a stalker just going completely over the line. I think that's what the Clippers did, and it backfired.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I mean, like suing Nike is a pretty public and like it's a pretty big move. Like I don't know if he's going to win or what the parameters of the case are, but not just the news of him suing Nike broke yesterday, but also the news of him buying a house, searching for real estate.
Michael Landsberg
bought a house.
I couldn't get to the bottom of that. Did he actually purchase a house? Or is he looking around?
I read that he bought property. Michael Landsberg said he bought property and they had two... shout out to Michael Landsberg.
Yeah. I know.
Getting into the Raptors news cycle, though.
Landsberg coming through.
On the record this time.
Yeah, hey.
Because of his show?
Yeah.
Yeah, they cited two sources that said that I thought he had bought something earlier. I don't know how much of this is recycled and how much of it is now, but they're really just trying to get as much content on the days off as possible.
Kawhi House Watch for me is home in LA. The big one he just bought in San Diego.
Yeah.
The one he still owns in San Antonio. The house he bought in Forest Hill earlier in the year. So yeah,
he did. He did
like
buy
you're
something.
saying, I don't know if it's recycled or not.
Yeah.
Or if he's like, I'm a rich person and I collect homes.
I don't give a shit about where he buys a house. I really don't.
Yeah.
Because he's a wealthy person and that's just what wealthy people do. To think that actually means something is ridiculous.
But what about the suing of Nike? Is that's something?
Way more significant. I would rather talk about the whole Nike thing because it's like you don't sue Nike unless you think you have a good chance of winning. Like you just don't sue a giant corporation like that unless there's like a real shot at it. Like lawyers, people just don't take that kind of risk.
But that's not really related. I mean, am I right in this? Is that Nike was trying to get Kawhi to stop using the logo that he's saying he created or he had created before they went into partnership with Nike when he had a shoe deal with them?
Yeah.
As far as I know it, basically he didn't realize that they were still using, like he had given them permission to use it on certain types of apparel.
Yeah.
And then I think someone has let him know how much money they're making off of this specific logo that he is not privy to.
Yeah.
So I think it's a situation where basically Nike was making a bunch of money off of something that's associated to his likeness.
Well, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's happened.
And then did he
actually
design it himself?
Apparently, so yeah. What I read is that
then that's like
these
his
are all
intellectual
part of
property as well.
Exactly, because it's the claw.
Yeah,
it's his initials, and then it's his number in the middle, and
his hand also,
and his hand,
and his actual hand.
It's his hand that's traced.
Yeah.
So
there you go. You know, like when you used to draw turkeys.
Oh yeah,
in grade school, remember that? And you draw lines around your hand. Anybody?
No, I do recall.
Toronto public schools.
I'm curious. Did he trace this on graph paper or a Bristol board?
The full claw has a waddle and has little legs. You don't know. It's a menacing turkey with a ball in its beak.
A classic 8x10. That's not going to fly with Kawhi,
no
right?
Way.
True.
I'm even doing it now, and I might.
Yeah, you need legal.
Yeah, he's got some legal paper.
How fitting.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to know. I want to know about his paper stock.
All right, I'm going to hit you guys with some of my questions. Matt hijacked the damn pod on me. Okay, here we go. So, Cathryn, let's start with you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
You're on the spot.
Yeah,
you're in the zone.
You're on the damn spot here. And hopefully this question isn't too convoluted, but I'm sure it will be.
Great.
Okay. So, we're going to need everyone and everything to win this series, obviously. People are going to have to perform at their best. We saw Pascal in game one obviously exceed any expectations that a third-year player might have in the finals. He was incredible. And I think we're going to need more and more incredible performances, but obviously we got to scale it to who the player is. So let me phrase it this way. Which tier of player do we need more from to win this series eventually? So tier 1 is Kawhi by himself. Tier 2 is Kyle, Pascal, and Marc. So they're a tier. And tier 3 is Serge, Danny, and Fred. I didn't really opt to make a tier 4 with
Norman.
No, that's fine.
I'm sorry. Norm. I knew I forgot
Norm
someone.
in tier 3.
Norm's in tier 3.
Yeah.
McCaw is not.
No, that's true.
Okay.
And who others who might play a role are not yet.
Sure.
So yeah, and it's their powers combined. So it could just be, hey, if Kawhi has a 45-point game, that's more important than tier 2 and 3. You know what I mean? So that's how I want you to think about this.
So
question.
I think tier 2 is the tier that needs to step up the most. Like, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I really feel like I want to take away from the good stuff that Marc Gasol has done, but I really feel like he needs to do more for us. Like, Marc Gasol should be scoring at least 10 points a game. Like, that's just how I feel about it. And like half of his shots are like uncontested. Like, they're not even guarding him. Like, they guarded him more in game 2, but it's like still a good percentage of his shots are open and he needs to make those.
Yes.
I really, and that goes for the whole team. Like, it's so frustrating that in so many of our playoff losses, it's been because of, in large part, we're just missing wide open shots. You know, and I don't know if that's like because of the pressure or what, but I really feel like Gasol, we need a consistent 10. He used to be a 20-10 guy. You know what I mean? I really feel like in the amount of minutes he has, he can give us 10 points.
Yeah, I mean, you know? we'll talk about like Nurse a little bit later, but I think, and it's obviously on Gasol, but I wish that he would just grab, you know, 2 or 3 of Memphis's pet plays and just tell Kyle what Conley does. And when Kawhi's off the court, just run 2 or 3 of those plays in the paint for Gasol, because he's valuable as this guy who, you know, is close to the 3-point line, who moves the ball around, who can hit a 3-pointer. But I agree with you. I think we need to run like, and just back to what you're saying about missing shots. I think the way our system's organized is it's kind of like, we're not necessarily always finding the hot shooter. So sometimes you have a game where someone hits 2 threes and takes 3, you know, and I think the product of a system is like everything overflows after Kawhi and it's kind of like spread evenly. But I wouldn't be, you know, I feel like we should run a couple more Kyle to Serge pick and rolls. We should run a couple more, or like 1 or 2 even Gasol post ups, or run, you know, maybe a pick and roll for Pascal instead of just like, oh, do what you can do, man. Sorry, I kind of jumped on your Gasol thing, but cool. I'll hit you with the same question, Ennis. Is there like a tier? Are you in agreement that middle tier is kind of the most important? With Pascal?
I mean, if you look at like when we do well, it's when we have 2 or 3 guys step up and sort of take some of the burden away from Kawhi, and a lot of that's going to be hot hand stuff. I find it. I've been such a Gasol defender the whole time because of how his game seems to be. First of all, how tough it is to integrate into a situation like we have on Toronto, where there is a hierarchy, and he's like our 5th option as far as scoring goes on the starting lineup. Possibly, if you look at Danny as 4. Maybe.
Yeah, I think he's a bit more of an option than Danny.
Yeah.
Like
okay. In terms of versatility,
now.
He's averaging like somewhere around 8 or 9 points.
Yeah. Which I mean, he was averaging 15 and 8 on Memphis, and I mean, he's had 20 point. He had like 3 27-point games in a row for Memphis.
Oh, he can score.
But it's one of those things where I feel like his game is still like he's still trying to figure out how to fit in on Toronto to some extent. So, and he does so much defensively, but I think a lot of it is like, I think he actually could be considered the best center in this series. And aside from Lopez being such a unique kind of center in the Bucks series, he hasn't really had that. You know what I mean? Like he went up against Vucevic, he went up against Embiid, so he kind of has the opportunity. And he went 20-7 in Game 1. It was amazing.
Totally, it looked good.
But you know,
he had a couple close scores.
Yeah,
like that kind of like he doesn't really do like hooks.
He doesn't really, but he does have a big man post game.
He still does the fadeaways where you're right at the basket. Though.
Yeah,
like and we could do some of those. Like when he realized Steph was on him. I was like, okay, because he can even pass out of those situations.
There are still games where it seems like he's giving up open shots or not taking it. And there was one, I think it was in Game 1, where he was literally under the basket with nobody on him and passed to the 3-point line. And I think we made a 3, but he had literally nobody there and could have just laid it in. So I think that's still happening to him, where he has these instincts that we run counter to what we might expect. But I think that's just that like all things being equal, and this is a very macro way to look at it, if Kawhi does stay and Gasol stays, I'm excited for him to get better on this team. For sure. Like, I feel like that his skill set just needs a training camp. You know what I mean?
And sorry, were you going to say something, Catherine?
Well, just in terms of this playoff series, I believe we do have a bit of a size advantage here that we didn't have in Milwaukee, and I feel like we haven't fully exploited that
Philly
yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah. And Pascal's bigger than Draymond.
Oh yeah. Right? When we get to the Nurse stuff, I definitely want to go there with some like funky lineups I think we could throw out in this series. But just one last thing on Gasol. Like I never really thought about it until now, but it's kind of like with the new integrations to our team, we expect people to kind of come in and just be like a trigger man.
Yeah.
And Gasol's not like that. So it's really going against his DNA as someone who like thinks the game and makes the right play.
Yeah.
Like, because we saw it with Jeremy Lin. We were kind of like, hey, can you come in and shoot a bunch of threes? And he's like, oh, that's not what I do. And we were like, oh, well, then you can't play at all.
Yeah.
But Gasol obviously is so much better than that.
Yeah.
And I think immediately Gasol's like, oh, okay, well, it's clear as day that I'm better than Serge. And jumping on what you were saying about defending Gasol so much, I think we're kind of in the same category there. And we can take a step back now, because I think all the people who were making us defend Gasol.
Yeah. Well, they were sad about Jonas.
Yeah, it was about JV.
Yeah.
And I think again, there's no, I love JV, but I think at this point, we're at the finals. Those types of things can be put to bed. He's better than JV. There's no sense in an argument filled with
more of
that much
what we
conjecture.
Need. Right? Gasol's just more what we need.
And he was he's been at worst the third best in any of these playoff series.
So it's dude,
third or fourth maybe in Milwaukee.
Take it for granted that he's good enough and he's earned his spot on the Raptors, and then you're going from that perspective. Now, what would you like to see him do?
Yeah, now let's criticize him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and as a compliment first, and then you deliver some feedback.
And he is vital in the series.
Critique.
Yeah, it's a critique. Yeah, it's not about hurting his feelings.
Well, I actually got more fun questions here, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to agree with you. I think tier 2.
Yeah.
And I think for Pascal, he had his explosive game where they were like, oh, I guess we have to play fast break defense against this team. He went. What was it? 14 for 17. Then he went
5 of 18.
Yeah, 5 of 18. Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense, and we just need that to end up being 10 for 18 in a more productive way.
Yeah.
And I think we need him and Gasol and Lowry to hit more open shots.
I mean, if Kyle's going to go 4 for 11, he can't have 1 assist, right?
It was 2 assists.
2 assists is that what it was in a rebound?
I only know that because I was keeping track of it, and he narrowly passed.
He was at 0 at the half. He had no assists at that. In general, we didn't have any assists in that game.
Pascal had 5 and Kawhi had 5
in game 2.
Yes.
Okay.
And then Pascal actually made
he had 5 in game 1 too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he was okay. I know it looks like he was really bad comparatively, but Pascal actually adjusted to being the star in game 1 fairly well, I thought.
Yeah.
Kyle was the one who I was hoping for a classic 15 and 8 game.
Please.
From him.
Well, I didn't realize
assists particularly he can't have 2.
Assist numbers were so low. I mean, I love Kyle, but that's bullshit.
Yeah.
On his part, you can't no, really, you're our point guard, man. You're our leader. You can't. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I hope him watching game tape has been painful for him. I really hope.
Are we going to see Kyle passing in a hoodie? You know what I mean?
Yeah, just trying to
but also too, I don't know.
The hoop, at the skills competition.
I don't know if his injury has something to do with that. I don't know, but
he can't feel his left thumb, right?
Yeah, so I'll give him some benefit of the doubt there, but really.
I just want to see some.
But I'm not wrong.
No, you're not wrong.
I want to see some Kyle drives.
Maybe I feel like he's like my family, so I get so upset.
I want to see some Kyle drives.
Yeah.
On offense. And he's feisty on D, but maybe, it's the Warriors. Not going to give you all these charges.
I felt bad for him for the foul trouble. I thought there were some really annoying things that got called against him that weren't right.
I thought it was pretty rough, but he's also him and Gasol are really, really physical guys.
Yeah.
And if they're going to play that physical every, 3-4 games, the refs are going to ding them up. And I think in a situation with the Warriors, maybe gamble a little bit less. And for Lowry, understand we need you on offense and we need you to get to the foul line and just do other stuff.
I really expect Lowry to respond.
I think so too. Yeah.
Gasol too. I feel like he's going to have a bounce back game after that.
Yeah.
Seems to always do that.
Oh, I'm not afraid of these Raptors not responding at all. Okay. Let's move on to something a little bit lighter, or maybe it won't be. I don't know. I don't know where we're going to end up here. But there's a lot of new Raptors fans, like a ton of new Raptors fans across Canada. In Toronto, in the GTA. Some of them are Leafs fans. Some of them are Jays fans. Some of them just care that the Raptors are in some type of cultural event. And some of them are going to stay on even after this season. Mia, I'll start with you. And I'll start with you, Cathryn. What, if anything, would you tell new fans who are maybe just tuning in to the finals, don't watch a lot of basketball? What's important for them to know? To enjoy the game or to respect the game, whatever.
No, to me, it's not that there's a whole lot they need to know. I think just watching it, enjoying it, listening to it, you feel free to stay after the series is over. The only real message I want to send is to the people who can actually afford to go to these games pretty close to the court. You don't have to get up and leave at halftime and not come back for a while.
Right.
That is you're making us all look bad. You can download the Raptors app and order drinks to your seat. You don't have to get up.
Very true.
They need catheters at the games, I think. Bedpans under every seat in the Platinum
like pee before the game. Like you don't. Come on, man. Like to have the stadium looking so empty in that third quarter, and then they go on,
and the Warriors going a huge run.
And then we got like not like Stephen A. Smith. Not that I care about Stephen A. But just people yelling at our fan base. Like they don't speak on. Yeah. They were criticizing our fan base,
saying we got too quiet in the fourth.
We got too quiet.
Oh, is that what you thought? We were at the game.
I think that the Raptors and I think I always forget Ryan Windhorst or Brian. Brian. He's always going on about how he believes that the Scotiabank like playing the Raptors is easy because our fans are very energetic, and as soon as we do anything wrong, we get nervous on their behalf, and it actually makes the road team more confident.
Yes,
I think there's some
sense it.
Yeah, and I think the Raptors can sense it too when they start missing a bunch of shots, and we're like
part of momentum in a game.
Well, I'll tell you this though, in game
Philly
2,
boos their fans, okay? Like
lose
their
players. We're not Philly. We're a different city.
I know.
I mean, we react to disappointment with fear and anxiety as opposed to anger.
Yes.
Like they might infer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that
I blame game ops.
Me too. I think on some level there was from being at game 2 in the fourth quarter when we got down 12 or 14 or whatever it was, they started playing like the Lion sleeps tonight and
no good.
You know what I mean? They're like stick with the Let's Go Raptors. Like
wait,
just play
what?
On every offensive position. They played like the day they do the thing where they like it's like more like dangling keys for a baby. Like I feel like it didn't feel like that wasn't the time to go light. You know what I mean? And loosen the crowd up. Like it seemed like just keep going with the Let's Go Raptors. And no one was sitting for the last 5 minutes of the game. Everybody was up.
Totally.
You know what I mean? But yeah, you're right about that beginning of the third quarter thing.
It's the small things too. Like for me, it's like identity. I know this isn't a tip. True. This isn't a tip to Raptors or new Raptors fans, but just a complaint on game ops is they said everyone stand for the tip off.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, great. But then people started sitting and some people were standing because they didn't know if they're supposed to do the OKC thing where we're going to wait till a score. So you got to be clear on that kind of shit.
It seems like if we lose
fans got to know, like the more we are a team, my season seat holder buddy who I went with, He said something, I forget what the exact idea was, but it was something like there should be like section selfies so that there's not like cameras all the time. So it's kind of like there's a time where like everyone is in a giant picture. And it's just like a silly idea, but it was like a section-based camaraderie thing, like a medieval timesy idea.
Right.
But it's like those type of things are much more creative and fun than people just yelling at you for a free t-shirt during the game.
Yeah.
Which I'll say didn't really happen in the finals, but there is a lot of that, and I feel like, we can embrace a more competitive spirit.
I think that I was lucky enough to get to go to game 1, and that was the dream scenario for fan participation because
it's all good. Yeah.
People were in. I got there 2 hours early, and people were in line in the security check lines to go sit in their seats, like not moving. The lines were not moving. People were queued, and it's not like getting in first means you don't get a good seat. Like they had seat tickets, and they were still lined up for something that wasn't letting fans in yet. So I mean, that was happening outside too with the Jurassic Park, but that was the game. I'd never had such a satisfying and exhilarating sporting experience in my life, and it was really the fans were on it the whole time. It helped that we were down 1 once, 2 points once, like in the first half, and we're leading the rest of the time. But
it was pretty poetic.
It was it was perfect how it worked out.
Okay, I mean? I have some tips and clarifications. I'm jumping back on this question. Okay, I'm gonna go big first. Drake.
Yeah.
So you have problems with Drake?
Sorry,
that's okay. You have problems with Drake as it pertains to the Raptors. You need to be a fan for 3 years before you jump in on. I don't want your Drake opinions. If you've been a hardcore Raptors fan for a long time, and you know how Drake was integrated and how that times out and how it times out with us being good, I'm way more into your opinion. If you're just someone who already didn't like Drake and then now you're watching the finals and you're criticizing Drake, it's unearned. You can't do it.
I absolutely agree.
I'm smashing the gavel down. If you don't watch more than 60 Raptors games a year, thou shalt not criticize Drake as it pertains to the Raptors.
I think that's totally fair.
Now, criticize Drake's career or whatever else you want to about him, that's all good with me.
What is there to criticize about Drake's career? You do what you like. I was just trying to.
Okay, sorry. Were you going to say something?
No, I just want to. I have one more point about this, but if you're still talking about Drake, it's fine.
No, I'm done with that. I have more things I want to say, but not necessarily about Drake. So hit me up.
No, just in terms of like the fandom, I feel like over the years we've really fought hard to be a confident fan base, and I think any new fans that come on board just need to share that confidence with us.
Ooh, I like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like,
it's like we have fought,
the Warriors
we have
stuff.
been through it, through the nervous energy, through the anxiousness. Like we've been through it, and I feel like now is just the time to be confident.
This is what I'm after, Cathryn, because we're in a blessed situation.
Yeah,
we don't need people coming in and like pushing their like, you know, losing anxiety on us.
Like maybe they're Leafs fans or whatever, and they got that anxiousness to them. And it's not like I've never been there as a fan, you know. I think we all have, but now it's just time to be confident.
I got another one, unless you got one, Ennis.
No, I was just thinking, for any fan, including lifelong fans, just don't be, just to think before you say something corny. Act like you've been there before.
Ooh, I like that.
And avoid.
Think before you say something corny is a good one.
And just maybe wonder if what your criticism is going to come off as vaguely racist before you say it out loud or post it online.
That's a real one.
Yeah.
That's a serious one.
Yeah.
That
I've been thinking a lot about like how
coded language
and also like, you know, this general defense of who said anything about race? I didn't say anything about race.
Yeah.
That is the privilege you get to have when race has mattered to you so little or had to be a factor for you, such a minute factor for you that you actually don't think of it as race when you're telling, say, a rapper who happens to be black to sit down during a basketball game or whatever else. You know,
there's racially shut up and play stuff. Has that
or don't make 100%. Noise at the Raptors game, or Jack Nicholson doesn't do it, and all this stuff. It's like, just maybe think for a second how it's going to land.
I like that
in
a
that
lot.
Context.
That everything we've said, that one's for real.
Because a lot of Drake stuff sounds like that to me, and it's like the same kind of heckling you hear. Like I remember watching Jay's games, and BJ Upton would get heckled a lot, and it was like easy. Like they were calling BJ Upton lazy, and it's like think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So heads up, don't be racist.
Yeah, a little bit lighter if you're confused. About Steph Curry's mouth guard. It's just a nervous tick. It's kind of gross. It's pretty weird. LeBron chewed his nails. Kawhi sits on a very, very high seat. If you're like, what's that? So
like sitting on phone books to get a haircut.
Well, have you seen where Kawhi sits on the bench?
No, I don't think I noticed that.
So because of his legs and his back, it's elevated.
Oh, that's cute.
So it's like he's sitting on two phone books.
Right.
So, you know, things like that. Nav Bhatia is a wonderful person. He represents all of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nav Bhatia is a super fan. He's basically like Toronto Raptors royalty.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, you're doing, these are all tips. Sorry. I thought you were bringing them up to like, you're running through tips. I know,
but I'm just going.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
Because I'm so excited with all of the new fans.
Yeah.
But I'm also like scared, and I'm a bit protective too.
Yeah.
But I also want to be helpful and welcoming. You know what I mean? Cathryn, you got anything else?
No, you've covered it.
I don't know. I think I'm pretty.
I think that's.
I just appreciated your passion. I wasn't trying to interrupt you in that moment.
I got a couple more actually.
All right, go for it.
Okay, fouls.
Yeah,
they're confusing.
Yeah.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Seriously, if a foul happens, assume your instincts are wrong. Honestly.
No, I think you should just assume the refs are bullshit and the game's rigged and just keep going.
Yeah, fair. I'm talking about new fans, though. You know what I mean? Like, if you're deep in Raptors subculture and you have all these philosophies about how we've been done wrong, honestly, carry on.
Sure.
But if you're someone new and you're like, every foul is confounding to you, or you're constantly asking the person who knows more about basketball, like, why was that a foul? Don't. Just don't. Like, ask other questions.
Can I add something to that I think is the responsibility of like veteran fans?
Yes.
Because in our Raptors Facebook group, there was a discussion about some of the reffing, the fouling in Game 2 and how it was suspect. And, you know, it's an ongoing, it's a perpetual concern where half the time you're like, how do I not think it's a conspiracy? Even though it isn't. It's, you know, for sure. They're human just like all the players are. But the ref you suck chant, I had it suggested to me that was actually doing more harm than good and was actually, you know, the kind of thing thing you would never.
I've never been a fan of
Draymond.
yelling at the refs.
I've always found ref use suck to be a very cathartic, childish way to express frustration. But maybe there's something else, is all I'm saying. So I was given pause to think maybe I shouldn't be joining in on Ref You Suck. And then maybe if we're getting new players in, that we might do it with glee, the way we say, think negatively about people who give out parking tickets. You know what I mean? They're kind of the sports world. They're those people. So I don't know. I
don't know if I'm on this parallel with you about the parking tickets.
I did get a bit lost.
Do you
I just think it's like
I just got a bit
worried that I was like, do you work in parking tickets?
No, I don't work in parking.
No, they're like kind of universally loathed and can't really do a good job. Period.
Yes,
no one ever cheers refs.
Yes.
They only ever get apathy, ambivalence, or outright hostility. Mm-hmm. So I thought maybe Ref You Suck has always felt like punching up to me, chanting Ref You Suck, but maybe it isn't, and maybe Tony Brothers just sheds a single tear every time we chant that, which is often.
Tony Brothers.
No, there's no way. He probably likes it. No, I'm kidding. He doesn't like it. So
he's like a wrestling heel.
No. I just think
that would be great
if he did like the ear thing. Bring it on. Sorry.
I just think this is so silly. I just think parking tickets. It's like, you're in a clear parking violation or you're not. There's no nuance to it.
There is.
Wait,
there's
what?
Totally nuance.
There's parking nuance, I swear.
Really?
Yes. Sometimes
I don't own a car.
Sometimes things aren't marked properly.
I do drive, but I don't.
Or signs hidden.
Yep. I once forgot I was in like a voice recording session and parking was done at 5 and it was 5:03 and the tow truck was already out there.
No.
So I'm talking, that's like.
Oh, was it a rush hour situation?
It was on Adelaide. Look, I know it was a mistake, but like I ran out and the tow truck was already there, which means they're like in the area hovering. You know what I mean?
Big boy Adelaide.
They're looking for tickets. All they need is a ticket.
Okay, I see it a bit more.
Okay, all right.
I think it's the same kind of thing. There's a rule book.
I have enjoyed a referee suck chant. I have found it cathartic. I feel like it is our way of letting them know that was a bad call and you're not going to reverse it.
Well, what are some alts for that?
But I see your point.
Yeah,
that's not fair.
That's not fair. Why, ref? Why?
Why, ref? Why? Why, ref? Why is so good.
How could you? How could you?
Okay, if it turns into a whole sentence,
how dare you?
Yeah.
How dare
you? How dare you, ref? How dare you, ref?
Okay, I got one more Raptors question. So let's hit it up. You guys ready? Ennis, I'm coming at you.
Okay, I'm gonna take a sip of water.
So the Warriors overcoming despite injury is both true and seems to be the popular narrative forming in the finals. Mm-hmm. We got Looney, broken collarbone.
Yeah, unfortunate.
You got Kevin Durant, obviously. Iguodala, his thighs hurt, and Steph was a bit sick or whatever. And he
had like IV. He was getting like IVs apparently earlier.
Oh, okay.
In the day. That's apparently it was like legitimate.
That's a bit more than just a bit sick. Yeah. And Clay, has hurt his hamstring, and was seen standing up and like talking to people. But a hamstring is a very, very serious injury. Yeah. Anyways, the point being, with so many people getting injured, what does Nick Nurse do to change that? Beyond just like beating the Warriors, what can the Raptors do to take the narrative back? And what can Nurse do to initiate that? Whether it's like a surprise start of someone or a weird rotation, like you had at the end of the game, you had the box, the box and one, which everyone laughed at because it's like a high school thing, but it worked against the Warriors for 4 minutes. But if we beat the Warriors, obviously, it's probably going to be about them more than us, but we're going to need to do something that the talking heads are talking about for the next 2 weeks. So what is that? What's Nurse going to do?
I mean, not to dispute the very premise of your question, but I think we do the same thing we've been doing all season, and that's try our best to beat the Warriors. And I think regardless of who they have, the American media is going to blame or pin it on this guy being hurt or this guy not being able to play, and more than they are. It already happened. Like the game one was an incredible execution of everything the Raptors do well, and it was about what the Warriors didn't do.
There was some talk about our smothering, all switchy defense, and are we the team that can finally slow the Warriors down?
Yeah, I guess I'm just mostly talking about Bill Simmons.
Some of that was in there,
which I'm asking for it if I'm even doing that. But I don't think game plans need to change. I think the I think it's.
So you're like, don't worry about the narrative, just persevere.
Well,
quietly.
yeah, I don't think these guys ever think about narratives in the sense of applying it to game theory and game strategy. So I think that if we beat the Warriors and they don't have KD back for the series, everyone's going to be downplaying it and diminishing it. That's going to happen anyway, and they're going to say we could never have done it without. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I don't know.
Someone's lunchbox fell over. I just don't think it's going to... I think we have to treat it like they can beat us no matter what. And that's going to be the best way to serve our ambition to win this series.
I agree. Ahead, I don't think this is about the narrative at all. We shouldn't worry about the narrative as Raptors fans. Also, too, like you got to think about it. Like they're the dynasty. We're taking down the dynasty. If the dynasty falls, that says something about the dynasty. It just does.
Right, of course.
Right? So it's like for them to be talking about everything more from Golden State's perspective more than our perspective, I think that's just what it's going to be no matter what happens. Like when I think
and
back...
And that was probably true of like Lakers, Pistons.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's been a lot of
Dallas,
Lakers,
Miami.
Pistons parallels. Yeah, and it's just, that's what happens. You know, when the Pistons won, it did say a lot about the Lakers. It just did.
So I'm going to rephrase it because...
I'm going to give you a high five on that.
That was great.
You.
Yeah. No, you both were like, listen, buddy, the narrative question, peace out.
We could be running for office with those answers.
Yeah,
That's a great question, Freddie. You know, narrative.
It's actually not, though.
Thank you for a fantastic question.
Freddie, would you mind sitting on attack? I got mad on that one. He was asleep until he laughed just then. He was like stone cold asleep.
He knocked his lunchbox over.
The idea of Matt being able to sleep on command and then wake up and laugh, I'm gonna ride with that for a bit.
Oh yeah, that's me in my old age for sure.
But no, okay. So the story of last game for me, anyways, was the 18-0 run and Boogie getting everyone into foul trouble, including himself. So that's actually what I'm after here. So let me try that again. What can Nurse do to surprise Kerr and win the game? Or is that just sticking to exactly what we are doing? And we can beat them by not changing anything.
Well, I think they're going to have to change some strategy if to consider that DeMarcus Cousins is going to be a bigger part of the series than they anticipated. Maybe
especially
I don't know if they're doing that
with Looney being injured.
With Looney being injured
and
Bogut. Yeah, I mean, also maybe we need to strategize around back cuts and not letting Bogut get 3 wide open lobs. You know, so there's a lot of. I think there's things to work on there that they weren't expecting, and I think seeing Cousins at game speed, he got better as that game went on.
Yeah.
So whether or not he can endure a game 3, you know, I think he's now a variable they might not have anticipated. I don't know how much they would have considered that. You know, I think that's why the Durant carrot is being dangled this whole time, that maybe we want to keep an eye out for him. I think it serves us to just be ready for everybody.
Yeah, I really want to impose something on the Warriors because I feel like there's an opportunity with this series that someone's going to be injured and we're always going to be guessing, and then, you know, a Jerebko putback or a Quinn 3 or a Quinn steal or a Looney, you know, block or a Bell or Bogut block is going to be this like majorly impactful thing. And I'm really wanting to, I'm wanting that to turn. And I don't know how Nurse does that exactly, but I think that changing up our offense might help a little bit and introducing a couple more pet plays that, even if they don't work that well in game 3, it's like, no, we know these will work. Like we know a Pascal going downhill with a, I don't know, Gasol screen or whatever is going to work.
Right.
I have 2 things to say to this. One, I think one thing we could try, I don't know if it'll work, but we could try is going big. You know what I mean? And getting more inside.
Yes.
Right? Like, I just feel like we've been relying on the 3-point shot too much. And I think, you know, we can still be aggressive, still have our transition defense, all of that if we just go inside, go big.
Here's the tough question, though.
Yeah.
Does going big include Kyle?
It can, because Kyle's very aggressive.
Yeah, because in the Philly lineup, we had...
And if he's just a facilitator...
We had Kawhi at the 2. So that's what made it, like, it's still a giant lineup, but you just have Kyle out there still.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate seeing Siakam, Ibaka, Gasol as a front court.
Yeah.
It seems like, I mean...
Oh, like that big?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, because you got to go after them. They're like limping and shit. You got to go after them.
Right. And that won't hurt us in transition?
Well, I mean, theoretically, if we're playing bigger than them, we might be able to set up for higher percentage shots closer to the net.
Hey,
and then we reset. It's kind of old school, but it could work.
Yeah, definitely. It's a city game.
Yeah, at least for certain stretches of the game. I don't think we should play the majority of the game like that, but I think for certain stretches, like we said, Cousins is just getting his feet back, right? Like if all these guys are down and we're forcing them to fucking grind in the paint. Sorry, I'm swearing, but like,
how dare you?
How dare I? I've already done it. You know what I mean? Like I think that is a side to our game that we have that as of right now, because of injuries, they don't. Like I don't think Bogut can handle all that. So I do think that is. Sure. I do think that's something we can try. And then the other thing I think is just for us to look within and just be consistent, stick to the game plan that we have, like stick to what we know works. Don't get rattled, don't feel like, oh, now I got to play ISO ball all of a sudden because somebody's shot's cold. Stick to what we do.
And if we are playing a lot of post offense and they come in and defend, then we'll still ostensibly have a couple of shooters open, right?
Yeah,
if we are putting that pressure on them right by the basket.
Yeah, I think the Raptors playing post offense would even look like a couple post ups a game.
Sure.
It's just enough. It's like Gasol hitting an early three makes them think about Gasol for the rest of the game. Yeah. Just a couple of plays that they weren't expecting off the top.
And I will say two things that I think I'm good on for the rest of the playoffs is one, throwing the ball down to Danny Green in the post. He can't take advantage of anyone because he can't dribble or pass.
Yeah.
I love Danny Green. He's so valuable out there as a shooter all of the time. Even when he's not making, he's valuable. But I want Danny Green running around. I don't want him, like he's just not that type of guy who makes plays. And that's, I see the connection there. It's like, oh, they're putting their worst defender on Danny Green, whether it's like Redick or,
Cook.
or Cook or Curry. Was on him a bunch. Yeah. I think also Kawhi needs to, we need to run some drills maybe where he passes out of the double team a bit quicker.
Yeah.
Just so it doesn't form, and maybe also use Kawhi and Lowry as off-ball threats a little bit more. Okay. Those are but I think, though, we've been in both these games and we won one. So things aren't really broken, except maybe the Warriors. So we should just
the notion that we could actually change the paradigm as opposed to having players that you can't play in a series against the Warriors. I'm doing air quotes. You couldn't really see that when you're listening to it. But you know what I mean? That would be something to be able to. And
all of our players can play, which is amazing.
All of them can play, and our top 8 can do things that make them have to adjust with guys who aren't as good as the players in our top 8.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We're doing one of my playoff segments. You ready, Matt?
Okay.
So this one...
Here we go.
He just woke up again.
Yeah, he's back, baby. Good morning. This one's called Marc Gasol's Free Ones. So this is Marc Gasol's climb towards the all-time free throws made list in the playoffs.
Wow.
I know, right? I'm tracking it. So he started the playoffs with 290 playoff free throws made at 144th all-time. He now has 314 free throws made.
Oh, yeah.
So since last pod, he has passed Terry Cummings, Gary Payton, Willie Wise, LaMarcus Aldridge, Mark Aguirre, Dikembe Mutombo, Lenny Wilkins, and Steve Smith. He now sits at 126 in all-time playoff free throws made, and he's coming for Slater Martin.
I am learning so much. Okay, guys.
Okay, because we're doing a back-to-back here. Okay.
Right, okay.
This one is Danny's threes.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Let's
Same
get
deal.
into this.
Danny is climbing the all-time three-pointers made in the playoffs.
He's I don't know if he's climbing, but
very slowly.
Yeah.
On his
inching.
Feet. Let's just say last game. Yeah, inching. He had a breakthrough though. Okay, he had a breakthrough.
That's true.
He must have been wrapped in his his snakes or something. Like he had a lot of courage. Okay, so check this out.
Like a thunder blanket? You mean like?
I don't know. He has a lot of snakes, so in my mind, he wraps them around his body.
Like they were just cuddling?
Yeah. But like in
one of those weighted blankets. Like
yes, but in a way that like made him like fierce. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
I like it.
I don't know. Matt's laughing at me.
Snake power.
Okay.
I'm awake again.
Yeah, I woke him up with the snake jokes. So sorry, everyone who's listening to this failed segment.
I think it's going great.
Danny from 3. So when we started tracking this, he had 191 playoff free throws made, which had him at 20th all time.
Wait, free throws?
You mean 3-pointers?
3-pointers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right.
So
20th all time.
So 20th all time.
That's impressive.
When it all got started, he now has. So he started with 191. He now has 223. So since last pod, he has finally passed Jason Terry.
Ooh.
He now sits 17th all time, and he's coming for Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
He only passed one person, but it's slow going in the top 20. Okay.
Still, absolutely.
All right, Maddie.
How many does he have to hit?
To catch Jason Kidd?
Yeah.
It's not happening this finals. I think it's about 9.
Okay, we need another Orlando.
What do you mean
series.
it's not happening this finals?
We need another Orlando.
He's got 5 more games to hit 9 threes before we win the championship.
I remember looking at it being
Freddie.
like, oh, that's tough. But yeah, because I also set up the Serge Ibaka blocks count.
Yeah.
And after he passed Mutombo, I was like, oh, he's going to pass Kevin McHale. And he's 40 blocks away. Because Serge is 9th all time.
Yeah,
playoff
amazing.
blocks.
Playoff blocks.
Amazing.
So, Serge, hopefully goes on a block party at some point. But yeah,
I would make a gentleman's bet with you right now that Danny hits 9 more threes this series.
Gentleman's bet, baby.
Ooh.
Hey,
Left-handed handshake.
Okay.
Nice.
Snake power, baby.
Nice.
All right. Well, if you're ready, Maddie, would you give me that NBA sting?
Bobby Webster to Sorta Shawarma, your meal is ready.
Meal! Did you add meal?
Did you get a meal there?
I guess
Sorta Shawarma was a meal.
I guess
I was going to ask you, did Barack Obama go to Sorta Shawarma?
Of course he did. And let me ask you, is that even a smart question? You know what I mean?
No.
Barack Obama was, of course, that's Sorta Shawarma, and he tried everything.
Have you guys had sort of shawarma at the game? Because I feel like
I have.
It's terrible.
It's the hot lettuce. You don't heat up lettuce and corn and you put it in a wrap.
Hot, wet lettuce.
Listen, I love
It's
shawarmas.
terrible. There's no way.
I love beef patties.
They get their own catering. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The food at the Scotiabank Arena sucks.
I will disagree.
But it's better than it used to be. It used to be like pizza
Just
and
get
Timmy's.
the Nashville hot chicken sandwich from Porchetta.
No,
You're done. It's a wrap.
No. I have been
You haven't had
to a
anything good?
Pistons game in Detroit.
The Pistons have good food.
And their food is amazing. Like once you experience food in a different arena, you're like, oh man, our food is terrible. I'm sorry, but I'm glad you know of the one good sandwich.
Well, I like the Reuben too. I don't like that they switched to chips because the chips get wet from the pickle, but that's a separate podcast.
Okay, that's a separate.
Well, this guy's talking about pickle condensation.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't want briny chips. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, I don't mind that. Eh? You know what I mean? Dill pickle. Hey, chips. Okay, Ennis.
Yeah.
So it is the finals.
Okay.
But 28 teams are at home.
Right.
We're very used to being one of these teams, so
Yes.
I think we can empathize. Who's the most deserving player to have never made a finals appearance?
We're talking period in the NBA or just right
Period.
now? It's the most deserving.
So-
Never make a finals appearance, period?
Yes, to never make it to the finals. Who's a player where you're like, holy shit? It doesn't have to be the best player, and you maybe a guy like Giannis or Embiid. They're so young, so
Yeah.
it's like, they can
Yeah.
get there.
I'll just ring off a few to get some going for you. Right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think
okay.
because I think
Chris Paul,
Yeah.
Vince Carter, Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, James Harden, Russ, players like that.
Okay, Catherine, is anyone jumping out to you?
Well, like what do we consider deserving?
Well, that's up to you. That's your criteria. My go-to answer is always Al Horford because I think he's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep.
And I think he plays basketball in like like as they say with Lowry, like in the margins, like he does so many things that don't show up. And he's been a part of so many winning teams, and he's never the fault that his team loses. And he's good enough to be the second or third best player on a championship team.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. And
And he just, he'll very likely finish his career without going to the finals, if you ask me. there might even be an opportunity for where Horford, is the guy if that Anthony Davis trade ever happens. He's one of the guys that gets like shipped. You know what I mean? So he might just get like cast away and never have that because it's not fair, the NBA.
Right.
There's lots of incredible players who never make it.
I don't know if this is like the most deserving, but Blake Griffin comes to mind.
Okay. I like that.
I don't think he's
good.
Blake Griffin's a guy, who like, he I feel like he got thrown away to Detroit.
Yeah.
And that's it for him. Yeah.
I mean, and he can end up moving to another team at some point. Like, I don't think it's completely over for him, but I don't know.
Fair.
It's interesting you talk about this.
Oh, wait a second. Russell Westbrook has
made it to
the finals. Made it to the finals.
Yes, because the Thunder.
Yeah,
never won.
And so is James.
That's different.
So is James Harden.
Then I give it to Charles.
Has James Harden gone there too?
With the Thunder, yeah.
With the Thunder.
Okay, I'm looking at the wrong list. I'm going back to sleep.
I'll give it to good night, Matt. Well, he's out fast. Jeez.
Because I think with Chris Paul, like, I feel like, that's a player you would have expected to be in the finals, but then he had those, like, I hate to say it, but he had those moments where he choked.
Ooh.
So but if he hadn't gotten hurt in that final game last year, they would have made it to the finals.
They definitely were close.
They maybe gone 2 of 27 from 3.
That's true. So maybe Chris Paul does deserve to be on that list.
Who are the oldest players in the NBA right now besides Vince? Who else is on the list?
That's a good question. I'd say Vince Amir has got to be getting there, or maybe Amir's like 32.
Well, Pau Gasol's I think 39, right?
Yeah, Pau Gasol's been there a bunch.
There's DeMar.
Ready?
We could talk about DeMar DeRozan.
You took my answer out of my mouth. That's the answer.
No, that's
the only answer, I think.
Let's slam the gavel down.
Yeah,
it's DeMar DeRozan.
Do you believe me that I was about to say that?
I do.
Okay, good. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we're on the same wave.
I'm going to throw in someone who maybe is eligible for a tie for DeMar DeRozan.
Okay.
Oof.
Mike Conley.
Yeah.
Like, so good.
Objectively speaking, sure. In terms of like a lack, you could also go Damian Lillard at that point.
But he's not as old.
Yeah.
I feel like Lillard is like
Conley's
the type of guy I'm looking at where I'm like, oh man, like you're gonna have one last chance. You're gonna go to some team.
And
that's like your chance.
No one will get mad at him.
DeRozan still might have like his next contract. Maybe
I don't
can
know.
do that.
I feel like. Can we talk about DeRozan for a second? Is that going against the grain here?
No, what do you mean?
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to.
Like, I just feel like. Did you guys watch that Game 7 with San Antonio?
Yeah, it was tough.
That was a tough watch, man.
Yeah, the night that Kawhi hit the shot. Oh no, that was the end of round 1. Sorry, that was the end of round 1. Sorry.
This year with the Spurs against the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, round 1.
That was a hard game to watch. It reminded me of all the reasons he was traded,
like all of his struggles,
and also in like there was like this play in like the final seconds, and like Popovich is like screaming at them to foul, and no one's fouling, and it's like the most
game too.
Obvious. It's like
Nurse was screaming to foul.
Yeah,
it was like the most obvious foul situation.
Yeah, Aldridge
and nobody did it, and I just like I worry for DeMar because I just feel like I don't know if he did himself a lot of favors this season. Like not that he was bad, but just when the spotlight's on you.
But it wasn't his fault against Denver. Was a superior team, and that's the fact that they took him to 7 is pretty good.
It's not solely his fault. It's just the fact that this trade automatically puts the Kawhi DeMar comparison in everybody's mind, and it's just so clear that DeMar wasn't the guy that he tried so hard to be.
Yeah,
it breaks my heart to say this. I don't know what this means for his career going forward. Like,
I think as far as his career, sorry,
no, that's it.
But I think as far as his career, he's ultimately going to be like quite all right. And I think that because a lot of people focus on like his lack of skills, particularly like the 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
But I think that he's just a really good candidate to be a strong vet. And after this contract kind of runs its course, he'll sign for, likely a lot less money, but he'll not be the best player or maybe even not even the second best player on the team. And he'll have that opportunity that Melo had, where it's like, are you going to join people and be part of a winning equation, or are you just going to get a ton of cash?
Right.
And I think he'll make the winning choice.
And I don't think that the problem here wasn't that he demanded the ball, it wasn't good enough, and was not a good teammate.
He did everything we asked.
You know what I mean?
He was a great
I'll bristle at the Melo comparison because Melo has shown that he refuses to adapt.
I was just thinking like
DeMar averaged 6 assists a game this year on a team that didn't have a point guard, so he is able to adapt. Granted, they don't shoot threes as much in San Antonio with the personnel they have. Popovich didn't seem to make it as much of a priority. So his attempts went down, even as his shots went down. I think go ahead.
I was going to say, I think I have a good opinion on this, and I just interrupted Ennis, but maybe it's just the gavel should go down on unfair comparison. Because do you remember when LeBron and Melo got drafted at the same year, and they were compared their whole career, and it never made any sense?
It's enough already.
And with Kawhi, there's been no point in Kawhi's career after his rookie year where he's been not quite a bit better than DeMar.
Yep.
At no point.
Yeah,
he's just been so much better for much longer.
Put the gavel down on both.
Can I tell you what I was going to say here?
But I interrupted.
I think the most exciting thing is going to be after Kawhi decides to re-sign with Toronto.
When DeMar joins.
When the Lakers are unable to get any of the marquee free agents they're trying to get, and they put together a package very similar to what they offered for Anthony Davis, and then DeMar DeRozan goes and plays with LeBron on the Lakers and meets us in the finals next year. That's going to be pretty crazy, I think. That's going to be. I mean, is there a better story that you would want to see? Think about DeMar and LeBron, that history, debunking that, the fact he didn't take a meeting with LA, goes to LA. It could happen. It could happen financially, and they could meet in the finals next year. That would be my dream.
I would love it because it would be also LeBron doubling down on no, I don't need shooters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's like, I do not.
And somehow making it work.
Yeah.
Okay, this might just be a throwaway question, but I've been wanting the NBA to expand for a long time because I think it has the least amount of professional spots when you compare it to MLB or NFL or NHL. So it's popular. It's as popular as any of those sports, and it's arguable with the NFL and that sort of thing. But just less people get to make it to the NBA. Less players get paid, and I think we should have more teams in Mexico City and Seattle and all these places. But
Mexico City.
Yeah, I'm into it. But
they've been exploring that, haven't they?
They're kind of doing the games, and obviously the African kind of Champions League 12-team expansion is massive, and it is an expansion.
Yeah.
But Adam Silver asked about other franchises in the NBA, and he basically put that to bed for a while. He was like, "This isn't happening." So I'm just asking you to, if you don't have an answer, it's fine. Ennis, I'll start with you.
Yeah.
But what's something you would like to see the NBA do? Just in general, as a kind of not necessarily a new foray, but something that could be cool and maybe is within reach. If you don't have an answer for this, it's fine.
Well, I got to say something, right?
You do have to have something.
I mean, I think anything that, and we're trending towards it to some extent this year, even though the top 4 teams from each conference made it to the second round. Anything that's good for not being sure who's going to be in the finals is good, I think. You know what I mean? Having the certainty of LeBron versus Golden State. Sorry, Cleveland. I think ultimately can put a damper on any fan base, any support, because if you're thinking, even as Raptors fans, we've been thinking, let's make the finals because of how dominant Golden State has been. Right. So I'm speaking more in the abstract because honestly, I'm a little tapped out on. I've been listening to all these podcasts talking about the tournament and the midseason that they've been trying to do, or thinking about those ideas. And short of expansion, I think anything that sort of limits, without taking agency away from the players, a way to address parity and support parity, I think would be better for the league. You know what I mean? So even if this year, if we didn't know the Warriors were going to be good next year, there'd be something to it. But I mean, it's also such a fluke how that team, I think people need to accept that that's not that's never going to happen.
It's an outlier.
Yeah. It's an insanely, if Steph Curry had his health early in his career like he has now, they never signed Durant. They probably can't keep Draymond,
very
everybody
fortunate
else. You know
situation.
What I mean? Yeah. So
Draymond drafted super late.
Also, the cap rules changed at such convenient times for Golden State and such inconvenient times for
OKC.
Yeah.
Me and you almost did the Confederacy of Dunks basketball podcast.
Because honestly, I was rooting for one of the things that I think would have been great for basketball is if Oklahoma City had kept those guys together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kept that whole team together. If Harden and Durant were still on the Thunder. And I mean, there's other things that come into play because, it apparently is objectively difficult to be on a team with Russell Westbrook for different reasons in terms of how he treats leadership and whatever it means to him. You know what I mean? Hero ball, et cetera. But so I would just like things to encourage parity. Now, I'm not thinking more specifically. I apologize for that.
No, I'm basically with you, but I got a slightly more more specific ones.
Go for it.
I think it works.
Go for it.
So they're like introducing this, I don't know how it's going to work, but they're like a way to have like these like top tier college players play in the G League and get paid, as a way to usher in the end of like the farce of a relationship that athletes have with the NCAA.
Yeah, right.
And I think that they should also use that opportunity to like raise the base level of salaries in the G League and really work towards making the G League more watchable, and just like whether that's like showing like top 10 dunks from the G League or whatever, just basically really double down on the advertising of the G League and try and make it bigger so that the game can support parity and like basically bring up the rear with those types of players. And
treat it more like a AAA franchise for a baseball team.
Yeah, and I think teams are already doing that. Yeah. But I think
Raptors do a great job.
Yeah, but what you don't see is like any of that on TV.
Yeah.
Or any of those players. You never see like, Bruno has had like triple doubles and stuff. And yes, we see highlights because we're like hardcore fans.
Yeah.
But I think if they did like little snippets of that, like even just like if they had like, here's the two best G League teams, like have a regular season game during the All-Star game or during All-Star weekend or something.
Yeah.
So like Saturday day is like it's just a regular season game for them, but these are the two best teams. Not all-star teams, like the two best teams. Like it's the 905 versus
it's like a showcase game for them.
Yeah.
Like an exhibition.
Yeah. Anyways, stuff like that.
I like that idea.
I
agree with the points about parity. My only thing is I would rather the league focus on getting people into the WNBA.
Yes.
And I'd rather see
you knew
I was going to say
that's why I didn't say it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Freddie and I have had this conversation many a time.
And we have a petition written.
We have a petition drafted that we have not issued yet to get a WNBA team in Toronto.
But baby, it's coming.
It's coming.
Man, it'd be great.
It's gonna happen.
And so are our toques, Matt. Sorry.
But really, like, I just feel like people's, their reservations or their critiques of the WNBA, in my opinion, are typically bullshit. I think it's
what are the critiques?
Well, just
it's not as exciting.
That it's not as exciting. They don't dunk as much. Like, just
they're very male gazy. Observations.
I mean, to me, the WNBA is that it's like if an entire league was like the San Antonio Spurs. Like, it's just
like
very
egalitarian, team focused. Let's go.
Like, that's just the type of ball that it is, and I think it's great. No, I want to see it have more support, and I think it would be great for the NBA. And I think this is really more where they're leaning, is just focusing on what they have, already. And before expanding into more places, and I think that's a good thing.
And I think there's a lot of player support and there's a lot of coach support for the WNBA. But yeah, like maybe it's a thing of just like giving them more of those showcase times. Like I know the seasons aren't like concurrent enough to like they should throw a WNBA game like in the middle of some like giant ABC night. You know what I mean?
Right, because I mean, the season starts end of May, so they could have a WNBA leading into a NBA game.
Totally.
Has the season started already?
Yeah.
See, I had no idea.
Yeah,
and it's hard because we're in Canada. We don't have a team. The broadcasters don't really cover it. I've decided I'm gonna after the finals because I'm so drained.
We're making this happen.
Stuff. I'm gonna try getting WNBA League Pass. And see how that is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll keep you all posted.
Keep us posted. We'll meet back here in 3 months.
Yeah, I'll let you know how it is.
The new owners of the house.
I'll give solid reviews.
It's almost time for quickish questions.
Oh, boy.
Catherine, are you okay?
I'm okay. What time is it?
It's 4:27.
Oh, baby. All right.
But they're quickish. They're supposed to be
I
quickish.
can give you a ride to the subway if that'll help.
Oh, no. I have to take an Uber.
An Uber?
After this to Scarborough.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for editing this out.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and snip this part right out of the show.
Well, Matt, would you give me that quickish questions sting?
I absolutely can, and I will for you because you are the best.
Quickish questions.
Yeah. So Sorry. That's Matt's voice in my head.
Quite a long intro for the Quickish questions.
I know.
I loved it though.
Okay, but just before we get to the questions here, I have one last stat tracker. Okay?
Oh
boy.
This one's for it's called Kawhi the God all-time points.
Wow.
So this is Kawhi's climb through the all-time playoff point list. So Kawhi started the playoffs with 1,432 points, and he was 137th all-time, and now has 2,050 points. So since last pod, Kawhi has passed Bob Cousy, Freddie Lewis, Kevin Johnson, and Jason Kidd.
Oh.
Kawhi now sits at 63rd all-time in playoff points, and he's coming for Tommy Heinsohn.
Can you do one more of those so I can cough?
Yeah. I thought Ennis was scared by that sound.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
I get stress coughs.
I thought you were giving me some in-house theatrics, which I was very much into.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, quickish questions. Let's do this.
Go.
You ready? You both know the drill, right?
Yeah.
Just get berated by people in the Raptors group on Facebook.
You gotta believe it. Okay, Ennis, this one's for you.
Big surprise.
How does Ennis balance living in Toronto with his GSW fandom?
I'm not a Warriors fan. It's a misunderstanding that has taken on. It's enough. It's enough with this joke. Nobody thinks it's funny. I posted one game thread in the group because the Warriors were playing the Thunder. It was the first game after Durant left. I'm not a Warriors fan, and Jonathan Yam picked the Warriors to win in 6 before the playoffs started. So,
Okay, some people think you're a Warriors fan. Cathryn, I got something for you. All right.
Freddie, please, man, please.
Cathryn, in their desperation to draw U.S. viewers into watching a series between arguably the most dominant collection of talent in NBA history against a team with no U.S. fan base, how pathetic is the narrative of the Warriors are underdogs?
Oh, that's pretty pathetic.
Okay, nice.
Now that's how you quickish.
That's a quickish.
That's how you
quickish right there. Matt, which is more likely? This year's success potentially end up being the downfall of the Raptors as demand shoots through the roof and the fans, which are widely considered the best in the league, priced out of games, ? And then he also says all the international attention getting paid to how awesome Toronto is draws big free agents and we build a dynasty. So what's more likely? We crumble or build a dynasty?
I think Kawhi stays and we build a dynasty.
That's the correct answer. Okay. Ennis.
Do you have one of those? Just get the air horn ready for my next answer.
Got this one. All right.
This is
No, we build a dynasty.
Tugboat.
Clown sound.
Yeah, we don't need the Adam Silver tugboat. Okay. Ennis.
All right, I'm going to go quick.
Also, this person's already asked a question.
Not
Also,
a Warriors fan.
how good would the Raptors legends from Game 1, Muggsy Bogues, Charles Oakley, Jerome Williams, or Junkyard Doug, Tracy McGrady, Morris Peterson, Chris Bosh, and Damon Stoudemire, how good would they be in the current in the NBA? What's the starting five of that crew?
Okay, I'd say McGrady as your proto Andre Iguodala. Oakley could still be a Draymond. That's a Draymond type. I'm sorry, I'm going Warriors.
No.
But I'm trying to think who else is on that team. Muggsy, I think that's going to be tough. That's we're in Isaiah Thomas. Oh, Bosh, of course. That's your small ball center for sure.
Yep.
Del Curry at the 2 because we need 3 shooting, and I'm sure he could still drain buckets.
Yeah.
Yep.
And your point guard is
Damon
Stoudemire. He's a little undersized, but how was his shot?
But Muggsy Bogues? Damon Stoudemire's undersized.
Yeah.
You've got Damon Stoudemire and Muggsy Bogues.
That's a small backcourt. That's a small backcourt.
Isn't it?
I didn't say Muggsy was. I didn't say Muggsy Bogues was a guard. I was saying he was too small.
You saying Muggsy Bogues is not short is the funniest thing
I said he was short.
experienced in a year.
Give me that tugboat sting.
This is Adam Silver.
And
I think we need to go elsewhere for a point guard.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
I didn't with the question because
They got to throw in Alvin Williams from the Sportsnet broadcast.
He's working. He's working. He's not a
wearing
vet
a
yet.
headset and a suit.
Okay, I didn't say that the conditions being that you can't take them from you have to take them from their prime Raptor season. Yeah. So no Charlotte Dell or Magic McGrady.
This isn't Quickish anymore.
I know. Because he also says this might be more of a lengthy question.
Yeah, who is that? Who asked that?
Yeah, Matt. Is that Matt?
That's a Matt. That's a Matt
feels
question.
like a Matt.
Okay, have him on the show.
No, I like. It was a solid question.
This one's coming for you, Catherine. Drake hoodie predictions for the remainder of the finals.
Ooh. Well, so, I mean, the starters were like, you should wear a Knicks jersey that says Durant. I still want to see that happen. That's so cold-blooded. I can't think of anything that's better than that.
It would be great.
He has to wear a Knicks Durant jersey.
Holy.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially if he wears it. I don't know, is he in Golden State? Is he going there?
I hope so.
Like, if he's there and he wears it, oh my God, he has to have so much security. Oh my God.
He'd have a lot of security.
That'd be such a boss
That's too much. There's people are going to be drinking. You don't know. That's going to be trouble. He's going to get hit with a drink.
Okay, maybe he should just do it here. Fair.
What if he comes in character as this Degrassi character in the wheelchair?
Yeah, that won't be offensive.
Every time the Warriors get hurt, he gets up and he offers it to them. He's like, Steph, your hamstring? You want to sit down?
Oh my God.
You want to sit down?
Yeah, I think for the people who are mad about him taking up too much space on the sidelines, wheeling in as his Degrassi character and gesturing to injured players, that'd be great. All right,
definitely the most offensive suggestion.
Matt, this one's for you, and I need you to tone it down. Okay. I'll try and summarize this to make it a shorter kind of answer. This question is for each Raptors rotation player. So you're just going to pick one. So pick a Raptors rotation player.
Kawhi.
Just a lesser guy like a Fred. Fred. Okay. So Fred needs to do he needs to do more / do less / keep doing blank.
Well, he's got to keep glowing from that dad energy and dropping them sweet threes.
Okay, he needs to do more though of what?
And he needs to literally guard Curry so bad that he literally just
guard Curry more.
Yeah.
And what does he need to do less?
Less, I think. Try to go into the what do you call it? Go into the rim or stay on the outside. I'm trying to say.
Okay, no drives from Fred.
Yeah, no drives.
Fair. Okay. We're almost getting to the end here. Ennis.
Yes.
How much time does Lowry, 33, have left in his prime? When the time comes, is Van Vliet going to be his replacement?
I think Lowry's already out of his prime, and I don't think Fred Van Vliet is going to be a starting point guard on a championship contending team in the NBA.
Agreed.
Sorry, guys, those were tough.
Follow-up question to that.
I'm glad I didn't get that one.
Should the Raptors go after Terry Rozier in free agency?
No?
Correct answer. Okay, Matt.
My answers are quick.
Yeah, they're really.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot. Yeah. I'm learning a lot.
Would we prefer beating the Warriors at full strength, or would we be happy to win the finals with them depleted?
I don't care. Anyway,
Correct
any
answer.
Freaking way.
Ennis.
Yeah.
What changes, if any, need to be made to the rules around the Supermax contract extension? My gut feeling is that it shouldn't hinge on beat writers' votes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The anybody who's voting for any end-of-season awards should not be able to fuck up the money of any players. Take that out.
Agreed.
Also, give out all the awards before the playoffs start.
Agreed.
Separate addendum.
Yes.
Okay.
They should have the televised award ceremony before the playoffs.
I agree.
Yeah.
More pomp, more circumstance.
Also, just introduce that narrative. Like, if Giannis won the MVP and then we beat them, that's even more fun. You know what I mean? Like, enjoy your regular season trophy.
Happened to Dirk.
Yeah. Same with Harden.
Warriors.
Same with Harden.
Okay, this is your last question. I got one more for you.
Okay.
Does the music
Catherine.
loop?
Oh yeah. It loops.
You need that intensity.
I know. It loops or he presses it again. No, you know what I mean? We'll never know.
Never know.
Okay, Catherine. If we don't win the chip this year and Kawhi signs a 1-year deal, given the opportunity, would you trade Pascal Siakam and pieces for a 1-year rental with the possibility of re-signing Anthony Davis?
No, stop this nonsense.
Okay, cheers.
No, stop this.
Last question for Ennis.
You're so mad.
I'm glad I didn't get that question.
Oh.
Ennis, what will it take in this finals for Ennis to finally abandon his Warriors fandom? Like, not just in a sort of shawarma way, but full shawarma renunciation.
Can I just say
that one was for Matt
I know
too.
for sure this hot lettuce of a question was asked by Jonathan Yam,
Yes,
and
it
I
was.
will say this again in the Raptors group before the playoffs started. Jonathan Yam picked Warriors over Raptors in 6. I debunk his premise, and that's all I have to say about it.
I love that your questions are just being trolled by one individual.
Listen,
it's really
it was more than one. Yeah,
Oh yeah, 2. It
a whole
was 2.
group.
It was 2.
Okay, buddies, that's the pod. This is gonna come out later tonight.
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So yeah, we'll get everyone that, and thank you so much for everyone who listens. Catherine, you're always busy doing stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, this will for sure be out on the 5th. So anything you want to plug?
No, just follow me on Twitter at me. It's me _ Cathryn.
Sweet.
It's a terrible name, but I'm good to follow.
Good jokes. Like, I'm sure you like nurse pics and shit too.
Oh
right?
yeah, please send me all the Nick Nurse stuff.
Like a lot of nurse
Send me all the Nick Nurse stuff.
So you think he's legitimately
Yeah, I
hot?
think he's so hot.
Cool. There's nothing wrong with that. Cool.
I can't.
I'm not here to judge.
You must be freaking out at the picture with the guitar in his mouth.
Yeah, geez, him.
Oh
in
yeah,
the
the
side.
first
Town
one.
Road.
The first one, I was like, oh my god, serenade me.
Yeah.
He brought it to Oakland.
For
there's
sure.
A picture of him getting off the plane with it.
He's been taking it within the whole playoffs.
I
And
heard
Masai's next to him, like kind of wincing, even though it's from the sun. It looks like he's like, "Oh, Nick, no more on the plane, man. No more thumbs up."
I heard he actually doesn't play the guitar, but he brings the guitar in case he wants to do the Jason Kidd drink bit, but he'll just get McCaw to smash it guitar over his back, and then he'd be like, "Oh, I can't. We need extra time out because like Kai smash a guitar."
He's tuning it in a TV timeout. String pops up.
Ennis, obviously the Blind Spot's going to be coming out at some point. But when's the season finale for 4?
Oh, it aired already.
So sorry.
That's okay. It was last week.
I'm really bad at this.
No, it's okay. But we are going to be shooting season 5, the final season of Blind Spot this summer or later in the year. Well, you'll see. We start this summer. That's fine. And it'll be on NBC and CTV at some point in the next 365 days, I would assume.
Cool. Are you doing any shows or just catch you around the city this summer?
Catch me around this. Yeah, just look around the city this summer. I'm on a softball team. We play on Saturdays.
Beautiful.
Different park, maybe, but that's another.
We actually played you last week.
Yeah, there you go. I wasn't able to
we got smashed. My team always gets smashed, but we have fun. You know what I mean? Okay, that really made me.
What about you? You got? What are you going to plug the rap battles at JFL?
Yeah. Oh yeah. My show rap battles.
You should be plugging too.
Should be plugging away. Rap battles. My show I run with my brother Miguel is going to Montreal again this year. At least one of our shows is going to be on the 23rd at 10 o'clock on the outdoor, I don't know if it's the same branding, but Lotto Quebec stage is what it was last year.
Nice.
I'll hit you with more details, but come to Montreal. It's a party. It's a comedy frosh. There's so many people there. You know, the first day we were there on the Monday, we were just walking around and my brother Miguel's like, that sounds like the Beach Boys. And then his wife Elisa was like, holy shit, that is the Beach Boys. And the Beach Boys were playing. There was a lot of people watching them, but it was weird because it was kind of like, I didn't think that they would just be playing like on the street.
The actual Beach Boys?
They were busking?
They weren't busking. No. There was like 9,000 people there.
Tough times for those Beach Boys.
But it was just incorporated into the...
Not a lot of beaches. Running out of beaches.
Anyways... All I'm saying is the Beach Boys were there. It wasn't even a big deal. Okay,
that's how G they are over there.
Yeah.
That's pretty baller.
Help us out with this pod. All that good stuff.
The Quickish questions music should be playing the entire time we record this podcast.
No, the whole time.
It wouldn't speed things up. Yeah.
Take that note.
Matt, you got anything to say before we sign off here, buddy?
As you're watching the finals, just if you see a dapper gentleman in a Coors Light commercial, it's you're Matty D there. So tip your hat. Have a Coors Light.
Nice.
Have a Coors Light.
Cheers, bud. Cheers.
And you're the guy in the commercial who gets bottled?
Pretty much. Yeah.
It's a Coors Light PSA about that.
It's hyper
Drink
violent.
responsibly, everybody.
Oh god. Okay. We gotta let Catherine go, and we'll get this pod out to you later today. Thank you so much, everybody. Peace.
Thank you.
Bye.
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.